afternoon. Welcome to Cheltenham on a Friday at 2:30. Yes, I know it's unusual, but this is the festival, and T20 cricket on at the moment, a bright afternoon is made for a day like this. I'm Ian Randall, and Dan Whiting is alongside me as ever for the T20. So the last four, Dan, tie, win, win, win. Suddenly the festival's taken on a bit of a different feel.
It's got a little bit juicy, hasn't it? It's got a little bit, and it's not the only tie that's been around for Gloucestershire this week. I mean,
I'm even wearing one today.
You know, if it gets like that again, I'm going to crack open the defibrillator for you, all right? So, but yeah, no, it's been exciting cricket, and Gloucestershire are the side to go and watch, aren't they? If you want to watch exciting cricket, get a ticket for Gloss.
Well, Gloucestershire have won the toss this afternoon, and they will field first in this match against Kent. Remember, the position in the table is that Gloucestershire have won 4, they've tied 1, and they've lost 3. And Kent have had a bit more of a sticky time of it. They've only won 2 out of 8, and Gloucestershire, of course, won the reverse fixture down at Canterbury. So Kent have lost the toss and will bat. Dan will do the Gloucestershire side in a minute. The Kent team, Daniel Bell-Drummond and Feroz Kushi on loan from Essex, will open the batting. Tawanda Muyeye at 3. He's had a bit of an in and out season in the Championship, but because of injuries elsewhere, he gets a chance today. Sam Bennings at 4, 6,000 runs across the world in T20 cricket. He's going to be arguably the key man for them. Jack Leaning at 5, the vice-captain, got a big 100 earlier in the season at Canterbury. Marcus O'Riordan at 6, bowls a bit of off-spin, bats in the middle order. Joey Everson at 7, got that match-winning knock in the final of the 50-over competition last season, having come across from Notts. Grant Stewart, Tom Rogers, recently signed for the rest of the T20s, an Australian left-handed batter in the Kent order, actually. He will bat at 9. Matt Parkinson, and Nathan Gilchrist. He tried to get through at Somerset but couldn't make his way through there. Moved to Kent. He will bat at 11. Umpires today are Alex Wolf and Ben Peverell. They're on their way, and here's Dan with the Gloucestershire team.
Yeah, opening up will be Cameron Bancroft and Miles Hammond, both Centurions here in the week. Bo Webster, he'll be in there, and then at 6 and 7, we think, he's not necessarily in batting order, this is Ben Charlesworth and Ollie Price after that blistering partnership to win the last game at Bristol against Somerset. James Bracey, the hero of Wednesday, 200 in that game, 10 catches, and what a vital one it was at the end there as well. He'll be skippered by Jack Taylor, and then Josh Shaw, the hero of Cardiff, last ball to win the game. Matt Taylor and David Payne, the 2 left-armers who bowled beautifully in this competition. And Ajit Singh Dale, so Graham Van Buren misses out, and Marshawn DeLunger will miss out as well. So it's they've gone more or less with the same side. I mean, they haven't changed much all season, have they?
One of the seam bowlers who was going to be asked to play after that big effort on Wednesday, and in that selection, it's Matt Taylor and actually Ajit Singh Dale as well. So they've picked 2 of them, which was a little bit surprising. But the pitch is the one slightly closer to the pavilion. As we're looking out from the balcony across the ground towards the Sanford Road side of Cheltenham and the hospital beyond, and Gloucestershire in bright conditions at the moment. The forecast is we may get some rain around about the time the match is due to finish, so it will be very, very useful if this game can be completed as it should be in its full roster. So I'm going to take the College lawn end, and David Payne is going to bowl the first ball to Daniel Bell-Drummond, and it's down the leg side, not taken cleanly by Bracey. It's given as a wide, and Josh Shaw does the fielding, and umpire Ben Peverell stretching his arms for the first time, and we're underway in the first over. Gates open at 12:30 today, and To be fair, most people have been good at trying to get in at the right time. There are still some queuing to get in, but most of them took the decision to get here early. Payne left arm over the wicket. Bowls, and that's punched down the ground on the bounce to Jack Taylor at mid-on, no run.
It's well fielded, that. You forget how bobbly the outfield can be here at times, and I mean it's the same for both sides, isn't it? I'm looking forward to watching Cushy. He's well rated by Essex, and a lot of the fans think that he should be batting at the top of the order, possibly instead of maybe Nick Brown or somebody like that, but he's a real quality player.
Payne, past the umpire, staying over the wicket. It's Cushy on the pad. There's an appeal from, and he's out. I was going to say there was an appeal from Ollie Price at extra cover, but the umpire was equally convinced, and the first wicket goes down, and Kent lose Cushy for a duck. LBW to David Payne.
Well, it wasn't going over. We're side on, and I don't think it was going over. I think Payne's just nipped that one back, hasn't he? Left arm over and nips it back. There it is. Yeah, it's plumb. Yeah, nailed on. Surprised the umpire took so long again, actually.
Sometimes umpires do almost drag out the decision, don't they?
They've got to rule everything out, haven't they? We've been made some very nice cake by Callie Barlow.
Yes, that'll be sampled during the interval between innings, I think.
Yeah.
One of the regular Gloucestershire supporters has brought us a box of cake, which we're going to have between innings. Right, so Tawanda Mayeye is out there in the middle at number 3, and David Payne to bowl to him, and clips that into the onside. There should be a comfortable one. They might think about a second, but not to Jack Taylor. So they'll stick at the single. Mayeye has batted in 7 matches this season. Highest score is 29. Bell Drummond does have a half century to his name, and is much more experienced. Got 4,500 runs in this form of the game. Average of 31, so not he and Billings are the two big wickets. Payne staying over the wicket, and again just turned into the offside this time by Bell Drummond, and they'll just take a single.
Yeah, Bell Drummond, originally from Catford Wanderers Cricket Club down in southeast London, down at the bottom of Beckenham Hill, not a million miles away from where Kent play their outground cricket at Beckenham.
They've got a couple of games there in the Metro Bank coming up.
Yes, they have, yeah. And I think there's been an England select 11 against the West Indies there, hasn't there?
50 over matches.
Yeah.
I once saw a 50 over game at Beckenham played on a day that was stiflingly hot. Stiflingly hot. Payne in. Aerial could be Taylor's, and is at mid-on. Mayeye goes, 2 wickets for Payne in the opening over. And he has been such a good performer for Gloucestershire in this form of the game in particular. You could understand why the club, when they came to look at how he should play going forward, they're prepared to kind of compromise his 4-day cricket for his 1-day cricket. And with the new ball, he's still a good operator. Kent 2 down.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. I think he's averaging something like 11 with the ball in T20 cricket this year. He's been absolutely superb.
So this is the big partnership.
Yeah.
Billings and Bell Drummond.
Billings is a dangerous customer. He's a good player and can really hurt you if it's his day. He can really hurt
one of Kent's wins this season was at home to Somerset, and he got 100 out of 198. So it shows,
tells the story. Yeah.
Shows how good a player he is. He's played his franchise cricket as well, of course. But Kent 4 for 2. We're still in the first over. And Payne from the College lawn end under actually quite blue skies now. Bowls to Billings, who uses his feet, shuffles down the pitch. And at the end of an over that started with a wide, Payne's finished it with 2 wickets. and Kent are 4 for 2.
What is it about David Payne's first over against sides from the east of England? Essex, he got 2 in the first 3 balls against them, and now he's gone over the Dartford Bridge and he's wrecking Kent's hopes here.
So Josh Shaw's going to open the bowling from the College Chapel end, and if you're watching us on the stream and you're not maybe used to the layout of the ground here at Cheltenham, you may almost see what looks like another square at that end of the ground. You'd be absolutely right, it is another square. It's the square they use for the college matches. The square that County play on is only ever used at the festival, and that's the square that Josh Shaw will start his approach to the wicket from, with the chapel behind him.
It's wonderful to be back here as Shaw bustles into the crease past umpire Alex Wharf and goes past the outside edge of Daniel Bell-Drummond.
And the thing we notice, as we're high up on the balcony, side on, which is unusual for a commentary position, but at Cheltenham you kind of understand why you're here and what view it gives you, but you get a real good idea of the bounce, and there was a good carry off that from Shaw.
Yeah, it's always a good wicket when you play county championship cricket here. It's generally 300 for 10. It's beating it for both. It's Shaw in short, and that's been pulled around the corner, but can only pick out David Payne on the 45. 2 men outside in the power play. So you've got Ollie Price out deep square leg, and then that looks like, is it Miles Hammond or Ben Charlesworth out at backward point? It's Charlesworth. Hammond's at mid-off.
Yeah, the other thing to say about the Cheltenham ground is it's not a circle. It's a slightly squashed circle. So the short boundaries are square, the long boundaries are straight.
Shaw. Bill Drummond pulls that one through mid-wicket, slightly short, not that short though, and Daniel Bell-Drummond latches onto that one really quickly. Cheltenham, though, it's just wonderful. You've got the chapel at one end of the ground. We're in the what building are we in? We're in a school. Is it?
We refer to it as the pavilion because that's what the players use it as such, but it is one of the main school buildings, yes.
Yeah, and then you've got the backdrop of Cleve Hill in the distance. If anyone watches the horse racing festival in March, you can see that in the background. Shaw, Bell-Drummond pushes that to mid-off where Hammond fields. Webster coming across though, attacking it.
I'm right in saying that I've been here often enough, I ought to know, there is a real tennis court in this building.
Oh, fancy a game later. Cheltenham
because Matt Windows used to play.
He did, yes. Yeah, there's somebody else who plays. Richard Ellis, I think, used to play. Short in, and that's a thick inside edge. That's going to run away to Ollie Price at backward square leg, and they amble through for a single.
I mean, we're talking about the shape of the ground, but it's the diametric opposite of Bristol, where you've got short straight boundaries and long square. Here it's long straight boundaries and short square.
It's a very fast outfield here, though.
Yeah.
Very quick outfield. Lovely, lovely venue. The marquee's full.
Hospitality full.
Friday afternoon. Finished work. Josh Shaw in, and that's, I think, off the pad. Yes, the umpire's given a pre-signal. Alex Wharf gives a pre-signal, and it's a leg by. And Kent at the end of the second over are, is that 9 or 10? I think it's 10, isn't it? 10 for 2.
The scoreboards, the main electronic scoreboard's on the far side of the ground. There's a small scoreboard just down in the members area. The Martin Stovald scoreboard, as it is, named after the former Gloucestershire player who has connections here at the college, taught at the college. Obviously his older brother, and he also played for Gloucestershire as well. But Kent with a bit of a sticky start here. But the two best batters now in. Payne starts the third over. That's dabbed away by Billings. Down to Matt Taylor. Bowled a lot of overs in the championship match. They'll just take one.
He's bowled very well in the blast as well, hasn't he? Matt Taylor, he got 4 for against Essex.
Leading wicket taker.
Yeah.
In the competition at the moment.
Is he? Okay.
So So Gloucestershire going with basically 5 seamers today, if they wish to. Chance of Ollie Price maybe having an over. Payne in, that's outside the off stump and signalled again as a wide by Ben Peverell.
It doesn't really turn much here, does it? It's not really, you know.
I mean, historically it has, but
yeah.
Recently no.
No.
So interesting to see how Parkinson would get on. Payne back at the end of his run. Left arm over the wicket. In, and that's crashed straight, and a good stop by Ajit Singh Dale on the dive. That was probably been cut off by Ollie Price, but he might have got 2 out of it, but in the end Singh Dale's dive to his left saved a run at point.
Superb bit of fielding there from Ajit Singh Dale, and he bowled that last over in that tie in the week against Glamorgan, and that's real pressure for a young guy, and he coped with it superbly, I thought.
13 for 2. Payne in the 3rd over. In, and a big drive from Billings. There's nobody out straight, so it was, in a sense, you might have seen it as a risk-free kind of shot. But he didn't get any element of the bat on it at all.
What do you think a past score is here, Ian?
Tricky. You know, if you're on a really nice day, and it's not a bad day, this. Payne in again to Billings, who's got it off the edge, and it's a caught by Shaw. It's on top edge, and Josh Shaw takes the catch, and Billings goes.
That's really good cricket there.
Big wicket.
Really good cricket. David Payne, he's been bowling just ambling in line and length. All of a sudden, the quick bouncer. Billings takes it on. It gets onto him too quickly, and just gets like a glove or maybe a top edge. And Josh Shaw had to make a lot of ground to that. It's a good catch. Kent are rocking here.
Well, Joey Everson coming in at number 5, much earlier than he would have anticipated. It was just in that awkward spot for Billings. He didn't quite get inside the line of the ball as much as he would have liked to have done. It was almost on him in that awkward kind of area where he couldn't get as much.
He got in a tangle, didn't he? He didn't get in the right position, but that was due to the pace of the ball from David Payne.
And also where it got to him as well. Should have been if he was another half a yard inside the line, it would have gone comfortably for 4, might have gone for 6 even. But 13 for 3 in the 3rd over. Payne has 3 for 7, as you can see. And now Everson, who is a handy white ball bat.
Yeah, he is.
Particularly in the 50 over game. He's got plenty of time here, rather more than he would have wanted, but he's standing deep in his crease as Payne bowls to him, and that nearly gets through as well. He's going to squeeze a 4 out of it off the bottom edge all the way down towards the members' stand at the chapel end. Payne can't believe his misfortune there, but Everson away with the boundary.
He's been a good signing for Kent. He's came from Nottinghamshire. I think he was England under-19 skipper. He's definitely in the England under-19 side. He was well rated as a youngster, and then just lost his way a little at Notts, and came down to Kent, and the fans love him down there.
Last ball of the 3rd over. David Payne with 3 wickets already, and he'll finish with a dot, and he's taken 3 for 11 in 2 overs at the outset of this match. And what's the normal stat? If you lose 3 wickets in the power play, it's hard for you necessarily to win from there, but Kent at least have time because they've lost the 3 wickets early in the power play, but my word, they've got a rebuilding job on. Yeah,
they certainly have. And Matt Taylor is going to replace Josh Shaw after just 1 over from the Yorkshireman. Taylor's been superb as well in this competition. As Ian just said, leading wicket taker.
16 wickets.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. And he just bowls that nagging length, doesn't he? He's, nagging line, nagging length. Here he comes from the chapel end. And Bill Drummond just opens the face, runs it down to Charlesworth at deep backward point, and Charlesworth throws it into James Bracey.
I remember, and this is going back longer than Matt would want to recall himself, because he's 30 next week, him making his debut here in a game in which Jack also played. And it was a 40 over game.
10 years ago?
Back in the day. Well, I think it's probably more like 13 years ago.
Well, was he 17? Here he comes, past umpire Alex Wharf, and again, Joey Everson just opens the face there and runs it down to Charlesworth. Ball comes in again to Bracey.
It's a bright start this, though. If you've won the toss,
yep,
and you're 3 wickets in already, now what Gloucestershire mustn't do is think that that's it, because
there's a long way to go in this game. Long way to go.
Bell Drummond is very experienced bat, and Everson is no mug.
Taylor. Oh, that's a little high, and they're going to come through for a leg by. Appeal there. Well, it's more of a polite inquiry, really, wasn't it? Cheltenham has a new MP, I believe. As
new
well.
what?
A new MP.
Oh, along with many other places.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the sitting Conservative beaten by the Liberal Democrat.
It's nice of Gloucestershire to wear Liberal Democrat colours today. As that's played back to Taylor, well fielded. Every ball's getting a round of applause here. They're a knowledgeable crowd at Cheltenham. They love their cricket. They love this festival. And you can see why. You can see why. It's just one of the 2 weeks in the summer, which when the fixtures come out, you go, oh, Cheltenham. Taylor. Yorker, and that's dug out, only to find Ajit Singh Dale, who's sort of a cover point area. He's quite forward of square.
Bo Webster bowled well in the championship game here this week.
Yeah.
He might again enjoy a little bit of extra bounce you sometimes get here.
Oh, big shot there from Everson. Doesn't connect. And the ball thumps into Bracey's gloves. 3 off the over. And Kent have only got 20 at the moment on 4 overs. And they need something a little bit more here. I think they need just to get bat on ball and work the singles, work the ones, work the twos.
I mean, I was talking to someone the other day about the likes of Michael Klinger and Glenn Phillips in particular. They're the best examples of somebody who would bat a long way into an innings and then really accelerate late on, and that's what maybe one of these Kent boys has got to do. Payne to start the 5th over, his 3rd, and it's bunted into the ground by Bell Drummond back up the pitch. But if Bell Drummond, for example, was 40 not out after 14 overs, then he's at least in with a chance to attack on a small ground late on, and Kent could still find themselves getting to a sort of a 160 type of total if somebody was to absolutely give it a biff late on. Payne again to Bell Drummond. It's chopped into the ground and basically takes the catch. Well, there was a crowd catch. I'm not sure 1 or 2 on the far side had seen the ball going to the ground first. It remains 20 for 3, Kent.
I think they've had a few siders already on that side of the ground. They're side on like we are. It's pretty obvious that went into. Payne's just bowling a nagging length as well, isn't he? Bill Drummond struggling.
You are looking up the slight slope from that stand, though, particularly if you're down in the front half a dozen rows. You're looking up at the play. Payne staying over the wicket. Bell Drummond again into the ground on the bounce to Bo Webster. No run. He will be, I'm sure, calm out there, Bell Drummond, because he knows exactly what's necessary.
Yeah, look at this crowd. Packed here.
Dan will be on social media with a picture of that crowd in a minute.
Well, not whilst working in. Come on.
Okay. maybe during the break.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Payne again, past umpire Peveril. Hits Bell Drummond on the pad. They've scampered through for a leg bite. I don't think there was any bat in that. Well,
it was, yeah.
It was a bit of a...
Yeah, I think that was a strangled
nick.
appeal, yeah.
So Bell Drummond, 9 off 13. Everson 5 having come in at the fall of the 3rd wicket. I'll give you the rest of the Kent batting order at the end of this over if I get a moment. Here is Payne again in. That's gone safe down the ground over Hammond at mid-off. It will go bounce and into the boards for 4. And somebody had to try and play one of those shots whilst the field was up, and Everson took Payne on, cleared Hammond and picked up a boundary for his trouble.
Yeah, someone's got to do it, as you said. Someone needs to take responsibility, because I think Kent need a minimum 40 off the power play.
Everson.
Those 3 wickets are hurting them, aren't they?
Yeah, still quite deep in his crease. Payne to bowl to him. Oh, that's down the leg side, but Everson thought that might have been a wide. Umpire thought otherwise. 25 for 3 after 5 overs. Payne has bowled 3 of his 4, but he's taken 3 wickets, and that's the important bit. They may hold the other one back, I would have thought now, and I would expect a change at the end of the power play.
Yeah, save him for the back end.
He's only got the 1 over left.
Ollie Price fielding down in front of us. That innings against Somerset will live long in the memory. 43 not out.
Not his highest score, but his most explosive score, I would say.
Charlesworth got 36 as well, as Josh Shaw is now back in. That's gone up in the air. I think that's going to be safe, just about. And Jack Taylor stops it from going for a boundary. And do they come through? No. Bill Drummond sends Everson back, and just 2 runs. But
just shows that is, I think, the longest boundary on the ground. It's further towards the chapel than it is towards the college lawn end. But that went so high that it almost dropped like a ball on a golf green, and there was no bounce in it at all when it dropped. And that was as wide Taylor was able to save 2.
Sure. That's 4. Was it 4 runs? Yes, it is. Despite the hand on it. Around the corner from Payne. Can't stop it from going for 4, and that's a nice shot. You bolt Daniel Bell Drummond around there, and he'll work you all day around. If you bolt him around middle and leg, he'll just work you all day.
This is the last over of the power play.
Skipper of Kent in red ball cricket. Sure, and that's been smashed over Jack Taylor's head. That's going to go away. 2 bounces for 4. Crashes into the advertising boards. And Kent needed this over.
Just a bit short from Shaw. There's a subtle difference here, particularly with back of a length and 2 short, and that was 2 short.
Yeah. Long old journey up from Canterbury as well here.
I don't know whether they would have stayed at Southampton actually after Wednesday and travelled up.
Probably.
That was where the championship game was.
Sure. In, and Bell Drummond whips that one backwards the square, and it beats Ollie Price and goes away for 4 runs. Bell Drummond starting to warm to the task.
Kent needed a big over somewhere, and it looks like it's going to come in the last over of the power play.
Yeah. Josh just needs to finish this off, get out this over. Been an expensive one.
So there's now a long on, back, as well as a deep square.
Sure. That's a Yorker, well bowled. Round of applause from the public down below us. You can probably hear.
If he can get out of this over with 2 dots, then 14 off the over is not ideal after such a handbrake start. But still, you'd accept it, settle for 39 for 3 off 6.
I've gone for worse here.
What, handbrake start? Full start. One thing I've never done is driven in a car with you for any distance.
Josh Shaw. That's gone straight to Ollie Price. 1 bounce, well fielded, and 1 run. I think if that had gone either side, it would have been 4, but He's just picked out Ollie Price. He hit that one well, Bell Drummond. Pure timing. But 40 for 3. Bell Drummond's on 24 now from 19. Joey Everson's 9 off 8.
But the thing is, it's the 3, isn't it? It's the wickets column. You know, if Kent were 40 for 0, you'd have said, well, they could be on for quite a big score here. But the fact they're 3 wickets down, and you've lost one of their gem batters in Billings. A lot of the focus now is on Bell Drummond policing the rest of the innings. He could do it, but he needs some help from.
It is, but if they get to say 10, 12 overs with only 3 down, it's not the end of the world.
Singdale into the attack from the same end he bowled that ball on Wednesday night at 5 to 7, that secured the tie with Bracey's catch outside the off stump. First ball to Daniel Bell Drummond and through to James Bracey.
Yeah, Ollie Price down in front of us. I think the boys rib him about the title I gave him last year, the King of Cheltenham, after his 300s here. 2 in the county championship, 1 against, I think it was Derbyshire in a one-day game.
Singdale from the College lawn end in, and that's just nudged behind square by Bell Drummond. They want 2, but they only get 1. Throw in from Ben Charlesworth, who's down in front of the Sanford Road stand. That's the larger of the 2 stands here at Cheltenham. There aren't many seats there. I mean, it is officially a sellout today. That does assume that all the members turn up, which inevitably not everybody does. But it's certainly pretty full. 41 for 3 in the 7th. Singdale in on a big drive attempted by Everson, but he tries to go that shot down the ground again.
I think the overheads might be aiding the swing of this white Kookaburra ball. It's quite sticky, isn't it? It's quite a muggy day here.
So the 4 men out now. In fact, they're going to change one of them. They're going to bring Matt Taylor up into the circle at short third man. So they've got a long leg, long on, long off, and a deep point. Singdale in short, worked into the leg side by Everson. He'll take 1. Oh, he's attempted shy at the stumps. That might go for an overthrow. Ollie Price has just, it's gone for 4.
It's gone for 5.
So it will be 5 in all. The throw was from Hammond at the bowler's end. Singdale let it go, not unreasonably. It beat Webster's back up, and it ran all the way beyond the Ollie Price's dive for 5.
Yeah, I'm not sure Jack Taylor will be overly impressed with that, because they were probably always going to get a single there, and the angle that Hammond threw, Webster had to do a lot of work to actually get there when he couldn't, and then Ollie Price sprinted after it and just fumbled it on the boundary.
Singdale in once more to Bell Drummond, who pulls that, go down towards the rope, but deep backward square, and it's gone for 4. Despite the dive of Charlesworth, it wasn't a very cleanly hit shot, but he got enough on it. And your point about the strength of Bell Drummond on the leg side,
especially backward of square,
absolutely backed up.
Yeah, especially backward of square, he's really strong there.
50 in the 7th. This over's cost 10 at the moment, although Singdale might feel a touch aggrieved at that, because there's an overthrow. He's again dabbed away, and that'll be 4 more. It's cleverly played. Bell Drummond just using the pace of the ball. There's enough width for him just to dab it away. And Kent have had 2 big overs. Overs 6 and 7 have been really profitable for them. They've gone from 25 for 3 to 54 for 3 in 2 overs.
Yeah, that's a lovely shot there from Daniel Bell Drummond. We've seen his brute force. That was panache, wasn't it? He just waits for it late and cut it in the gap, and you know, he can play with the cudgel, and he can play with the wand, can't he? You know, he's got both sides to his game. I think he's been unlucky not to play for England over the years, actually, Daniel Bell Drummond.
Bo Webster into the attack for the first time.
Here he comes in, and that's gone up in the air. Is that going to go over Josh Shaw and kick on and go away for 4 runs? Joey Everson not in control of that shot, but Look in the book.
It'll say 4. In whatever colour pen the scorer has, it'll say 4.
I mean, he'll be telling people in the bar later that was a cover drive all through, all along the deck. Webster ambling in, and that's worked with a little bit of bottom hand there by Everson out to Cameron Bancroft at deep mid wicket.
When you look across the ground, Webster's stride for a man of his height, it's a very high stepping kind of run, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's funny, you see like some of these bowlers. Gus Atkinson's another who's like pigeon steps into the wicket. And that's played out to Charlesworth out deep cover for a single. Oliver Hannon-Dalby's another one as well, isn't he, with that sort of high stepping run.
.60 for 3 in the 8th. They've recovered, not completely, but certainly partially.
Webster in. That's all dropped. Josh Shaw, diving effort, great effort. It was away to his left-hand side, and it was low. It would have been a very good catch, and he's got a brilliant pair of hands, Josh Shaw, but just couldn't quite cling on to that one. Webster just mixing his pace up here, just varying it a little bit. That's wide of off stump, the wide pitched up one, and Bill Drummond leaves it alone. I think he thought he might get a wide out of that one. I think this might be very high scoring ground. Webster. That's cut. And Singdale stops it, tumbling away, and that's a dot ball. So at the end of the 8th, Kent are 61 for 3, and shoots of recovery in.
Yeah, shoots, definitely. Bell Drummond's still the key for me. Singdale. So just 1 over from him, and Matt Taylor's going to be brought back. I think Jack Taylor's going to do this today, maybe shuffle his bowlers round, just really keep the Kent batters guessing. Remember, they were 13 for 3 in the 3rd over, and now these two have added 48.
Some ladies with some wonderful dresses just walking past us.
Taylor around the wicket, chopped, very fine, down towards Singdale at 3rd man. They'll take 1, and Everson will settle for that. Skipper didn't want to risk a second. So unsurprisingly, Gloucestershire have done well on hospitality today. Those marquees are really full. Taylor staying around the wicket. Bell Drummond goes down the ground, but straight to Jack Taylor at mid-off.
And feigns injury as that sort of just pops up and hits him in the stomach.
The Kent card looks odd. Bell Drummond not out 34. Kushi 0, Miyaye 1, Billings 1, and now Everson offering some support to the more experienced opener. Taylor round the wicket again. That's just made Bell Drummond hurry a little bit. Got a bit tight in terms of what shot he wanted to play.
Yeah, he just
gone through to Bracey.
Just pushed that one through a little quicker, didn't he, Matt Taylor? He's a clever cricketer.
We're in the 9th over. 62 for 3. Bell Drummond trying to glue the innings together, and he's used his feet to come down the pitch and work that out to deep square. Charlesworth with the throw on the bounce. There's the 50 partnership. Good recovery from these two.
Yeah, Taylor's, he's all about angles, isn't he? You know, when he comes over the wicket or around the wicket, he's all about angles. And, you know, if he's about geometry, you need to know the geography of your off stump.
Deep square, deep mid-wicket, long on, all out. In case Everson wants to go aerial on the leg side, and then he just quietly plays a single out to Hammond at deep mid-wicket. That's the calm thing to do. So in terms of the rest of the Kent batting order, probably Marcus O'Riordan, either Reardon or Leaning next, I would think, and then Stewart, Rogers, Parkinson and Gilchrist the bowlers. So there's a lot of focus on this partnership, and they're doing a good job for this side at the moment. Taylor in, it's cracked away, that's 4 from Bell Drummond. He's forced that past David Payne, and I know it's a short boundary towards this pavilion side of the ground, but it's just the way he's cut that away. Payne's had no time to react at all, and Taylor, unfortunately for him, he always say try and get out of the over with a dot or a single. In this case it's a boundary, and on the after 9 overs, Gloucestershire have taken 3 Kent wickets, but that was earlier on in the power play, and Kent now 68 for 3.
Yeah, just spoiling that over from Taylor. He absolutely nailed that, didn't he? Absolutely crunched it. Webster into Everson. That's going to be a wide. Alex Wharf stretching his long arms.
I think that's the first wide since the first ball of the match.
I think it is, yeah. Gloucestershire have been very disciplined.
No, to be fair, there has been one other since then.
They've shown good disciplines under Mark Lane. It's a real stamp of his sort of side. That's gone up in the air. Is that going to be out? Hammond, safe as houses, and Gloucestershire needed that. Bo Webster strikes and Joey Everson departs, caught by Miles Hammond out at long off the bowling of Bo Webster, and he goes for 22. Kent 68 for 4.
Didn't quite middle it. I think if he'd gone,
I think he was aiming like to long on.
He'd gone the other end of the ground, maybe he might have had a bit more joy, but one for Hammond just didn't really have to move too far, only 3 or 4 strides in, got comfortably underneath it, and Jack Leaning is coming in at number 6.
Yeah, I loved it when he was at Yorkshire and there was Leaning and Balance in the same side.
He's easily pleased, that done, Whiting.
We had Broad bowling to Bean earlier in the season as well, didn't we?
So Bell Drummond just having quite a word with Leaning about what's happening out there from this pitch.
Probably saying get your head down.
Well, he's only recently back in the side after a hand injury.
Webster in. Oh, I thought he'd nicked that. I thought I heard something in my outside effects mic. Maybe I'm hearing things. Ian, I'm going mad.
Well, it's this time of the year when, if the day ends in Y, Dan Whiting is at cricket somewhere.
Yeah, it's been a busy time, but I'm so glad I'm here. You know, I've been to a lot of grounds. That's well bowled. Bracey tumbling away, takes that well. Yeah, I've been to some lovely grounds. I mean, you know, the Oval regularly this season and Worcester, but there's something about this that gets the juices flowing.
And you've been to some smaller grounds as well, haven't you? Doing
I've been to Kidderminster.
Some England representative cricket.
Yeah, I've been covering the England Deaf series against India. Webster in, and again he can't get him away. Leaning, playing and missing 3 times in a row now to the Australian. Yeah, I've been to Kidderminster. I didn't do Aswood Bank, but
where's that?
That's Redditch.
So that's Worcestershire as well.
Yeah. But I've been on a tour of the Midlands, Ian. I've done Derby, Leicester, Worcester, Northampton. Webster as that's gone up in the air. Crowd catch again. They like a crowd catch on the Sanford Avenue side of the ground, don't they?
I mean, this is the midpoint. Got 1 ball left in the 10th over.
Yeah, this is really good from Webster. 1 run, 1 and the wide. No runs off the bat so far in the 5 balls and the wicket.
Kent's runs total is okay. It's the wickets total that's the worry for them.
Here's Webster in as big appeal for LBW. Turned down by Alex Wharf. So at the halfway stage, the visitors are 70 for 4. And they'll be looking to at least double that and add probably another 20. 160, I think, is the minimum you need to be competitive on this. We're thinking that there might be a little bit of weather. Jack Taylor intimated that at the toss, didn't he? He said that was his reason for chasing. I mean, I think everyone chases in T20 all the time anyway. But you're in control of the game, aren't you, with the Duck DLS?
You wouldn't think so at the moment, because weather-wise that is, because there is some pockets of blue sky overhead. But we're going to see spin for the first time. Ollie Price coming into the attack. Had a bowl in the championship game, took 1 wicket in that marathon Glamorgan second innings from the College Lawn end. In. Oh,
he's hit wicket.
He's hit wicket. He's gone back. What an extraordinary dismissal. Jack Leaning's gone back, and his back foot has slid into his stumps. He's out hit wicket bowled Price off Ollie Price's first ball.
Wow.
Not very often in professional cricket that you see a hit wicket like that.
No, we had one last year, didn't we, here with Prithvi Shaw of Northamptonshire. He hit his wicket, but
this is a real demolition. Just look at this. He's got a horrible pickle, and his right foot has gone back and trod on his stumps. And here's Marcus O'Riordan coming in for Kent at number 7.
Bizarre dismissal.
Leaning looked very rueful. Here's a second look at it, and he's trying to whip a ball from outside the off stump. And I wonder if he's wearing spikes or flat shoes there.
Maybe he's wearing ballet shoes, but look at it, his foot's just slid backwards, isn't it? Not many Yorkshiremen wear ballet shoes, but you know, I think it's a bizarre dismissal.
Now then, O'Riordan got some runs in the seconds in a T20 game earlier in the week. Waits for Ollie Price, and he chops that out away on the offside. They'll take 1. There probably should only be 1 there. Payne gets his throw back in from this shortish square boundary here at Cheltenham. If you're with us on the stream, wherever you are on this Friday afternoon, don't let the boss know.
No. Welcome to everyone listening in from the Garden of England as well.
72 for 5 in the 11th. Ollie Price to Bell Drummond, who you think has got to try and bat through here now. It's gone past Ajit Singh Dale at short mid wicket. They only take 1, and he's almost got to go, I would think, risk-free, maybe to as late as 16 or even 17 overs, Bell Drummond.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think he can go too early.
Price to O'Riordan, and back down the pitch. Well fielded by Price off his own bowling. Kent got 125 in the other match, the reverse game at Canterbury. Gloucestershire would love them to keep them to something like that here, if they could.
This is good from Ollie Price, really good.
If they're to do that, you've got to think that Bell Drummond has got to be dismissed pretty quickly. What's Jack Taylor doing with the field? He's asking Singdale to go back in at short mid wicket. So long on and long off out for Bell Drummond, and a deep square and a deep mid wicket, and that's a little dab again straight to Matt Taylor at short third man, and they'll take 1. But a wicket taking over is Ollie Price, only 5 off it, and again everything Jack Taylor seems to be trying at the moment is working for him. Just 2 loose overs really, overs 6 and 7. Apart from that, they've been right on the money.
I think Jack Taylor would take singles at this stage of the game. 9 overs left, 9 sixes, 54. Is that right, Ian? You're the mathematician.
That's roughly right, Dan.
Yeah. So, you know, 130, I think Jack Taylor would take 130 on this wicket. Kent need boundaries. Ajit Singh Dale is coming back, this time from the chapel end. As that cut into the ground. Shy of the stumps from Webster. And he's got an arm on him, hasn't he? I wouldn't like to be backing that up.
I mean, he is a very tall man.
He is a very tall man.
We've seen one or two pictures this season of Bo Webster and Graham van Buren batting together, and it really is quite a contrast.
Like a dads and lads game. Yeah.
75 for 5 in the 12th.
Here's Ajit. And that's in the air. Oh, that's an amazing bit of fielding by Miles Hammond. That had 4 runs written all over it, and he's propelled himself horizontally to pluck that one out, one bounce, and cut off the boundary.
Good work from Hammond. Saved 3 runs there, unquestionably.
Here's Ajit.
Bill Drummond 42 he's got.
As that's cut, only to pick out Charlesworth out at deep cover. I said this last time, I think Gloucestershire are turning into a really good white ball side. And, you know, Mark Lane, as a player, won those 6 trophies, didn't he? And if they have a good second half of this campaign, I think they're going to end up in the quarterfinals. That's cut away. That's going to be 2, I think. Can Shaw cut that off? He can. Parries it to Charlesworth. In fact, they're going to come back for 3. It's good running. Good work from Josh Shaw, though. Saved 1. But everyone's throwing themselves around in the field. You know, even the quick bowlers, Josh Shaw, Ajit Singh Dale. You expect it from Hammond and people like that because they're live, they're athletes. You know, and I'm not saying the bowlers aren't, but you know, long gone are the days when a fast bowler would just stick his boot out.
Third man both ends.
Yeah.
Not in this format.
Definitely not. Singh Dale in, and Bill Drummond just cautiously plays that one back to him.
So now we're at last ball of the over time here. Ajit's conceded 6 at the moment off this over.
5.
3 and 3 singles.
Oh, okay, scoreboard's behind. We've had issues here with that before, haven't we, Ian?
Can he get out of this over with another dot?
Here he comes. There's that. You're right, Ian. 81 for 5 at the end of the 12th. And Singh Dale has to find the right... Bill Drummond has to find the right balance here between scoring and not getting out himself, because if he goes, I think he's the linchpin.
Another over from Ollie Price with his off spin. I say Kent have only one left-hander in the side who bats down the order is Tom Rogers. But really, Jack Taylor thinks that Price, having taken a wicket in his first over, certainly worth giving another one to. Here he is. Reverse sweep, cleverly played. That'll be 4. Well done by O'Riordan. He's got a shortish boundary with nobody out at deep point. He's got a deep mid-wicket and a deep square leg, Ollie Price, but O'Riordan spotting that they've only got 1 out on the offside. There was room behind Ajit Singh Dale if he made a good contact, and he picked up a boundary for it.
Yeah, played that well.
84 for 5. Plane going overhead in the 13th here at Cheltenham. Is on the pad. Ollie Price appeals as a yes-no between the 2 fielders, and in the end Ajit Singh Dale throws at the bowler's end. There is no run. He doesn't hit the stumps, but both batsmen stay where they were.
It sounded like a fighter jet. Didn't sound like a normal aircraft. Got RAF Bryce Norton up the road, haven't we?
Price with a wicket in his first over from the College lawn end. Again, that's outside the off stump, and that's given us a wide, 2 wide, says Ben Peverell. So long on and long off out. 2 out on the leg side, and Payne out at very square cover point. Price again bowls, and again the reverse sweep attempted by O'Riordan. It's stopped by Ajit Singh Dell because he didn't get that much on it, and it's another dot.
Yeah, he clothed it a little bit.
So we've seen that shot once. Ajit Singh Dell will be waiting for it if O'Riordan tries it again. Price tries to fire it in, that's hit in the air, straight to the man at deep square, and it's another catch from Miles Hammond, I think, again out there. Price gets another wicket, it's Charlesworth in fact with a catch, and another Kent batsman perishes. This time O'Riordan going for the more orthodox shot, but picked out Charlesworth, and wickets steadily through a T20 don't leave you a great deal to chase, and at the moment Kent need a bit of an explosive knock from somebody.
You can't keep Ollie Price out of the game, can you? Whether it's with bat, ball, his explosive fielding, and I think he was left out for a couple of games earlier in his campaign, and I think, you know, he's really got the bit between his teeth now.
Here's a repeat of that catch from Charlesworth. Good take away deep on the square leg boundary. And Grant Stewart is in. At number 8. So Rogers, Parkinson and Gilchrist to follow. Bill Drummond's got to police this a bit, even more so than he's doing already. Stewart's a tall man, he's forced that off of the back foot, and that's going to run away for 4.
That's timing.
Through extra cover.
Serious shot.
Tall, powerful man, Grant Stewart.
Well, Parkinson is improving as a batter. I saw him bat for 150 balls in red ball cricket early in the season.
Well, Stewart's got a T20 50, so he's not somebody who can't put bat to ball. And that's another good over from Ollie Price. He's taken 2 for 13 in 2 overs. And Kent on the ropes here. And Jack Taylor's going to try and force the issue by bringing back Bo Webster.
Oh, there's a load of gentlemen dressed as bananas here. And the banana split song comes out.
Fair play to Chris Fortune for spotting that.
Yeah.
And for having it in his library. 89 for 6 off 13.
Superb. Bo Webster. Here he comes. Bill Drummond lunges forward, and that goes into the onside, and they just amble through for what's an easy single.
So because Gloucestershire have used 6 bowlers, Jack Taylor's now got some flexibility. Only Payne has bowled 3, so everybody else has got 2 overs left. So he can really mix it up if he needs to.
Yeah. Webster though, 1 for 9 off 2.1. Parsimonious. That's cut. That might be 4 actually. It is 4. It runs away down that hill so quickly. And Stewart looks very strong through the offside. He's hit that cut there, and the one off Ollie Price, the over before off the back foot, just a punch through extra cover, was very good shot. Webster just line and length. Dot ball keeps Stewart.
We had
tidy.
a Gloucestershire analyst with us in the marquee here at Cheltenham earlier in the week, and he said that I'll come back to the Bo Webster's accuracy in a moment.
Here he comes. There you go. There's his accuracy.
And he said, somebody asked him a question, said, if you put a handkerchief on the wicket and asked Bo Webster to bowl to it, how many balls would hit the handkerchief? He said, at least 4.
Yeah.
He said that's how accurate he can be.
Yeah. He's got no great pace, but you don't need it. 4, well bowled. This is superb from Webster. I think he likes Cheltenham, doesn't he?
He bowled very well in the championship match, I thought, without a great deal of luck on occasions. I mean, he took 5 wickets in the first Glamorgan innings, but he bowled well in the second without, as you say, he's not express pace, but nobody was able to really get after him.
But you look at that Gloucestershire side that won all those trophies around the turn of the century, and Marker Lane, Ian Harvey, they didn't have express pace, but they just did a job. As that's just punched into the offside, and Jack Taylor does the fielding. That's really good there. 6 off the over from Webster. He's 1 for 14 off his 3. And Kent have just 6 overs left to actually get this to, I mean, they need 10 and over from here.
They do really, and therefore Stewart, we've seen, can hit a long ball. Bell Drummond is the glue of the innings now. He's got to 44. So can he just rotate the strike and allow Stewart to play the long handle game? He's going to have Ollie Price to bowl at him. He's worked that up towards long on. They'll take 1, but that's all there will be. Bancroft is out there, and they'll keep them down to a single.
He's a fine fielder, Cameron Bancroft. Payne and Jack Taylor just having a conflab.
Price in. Bell Drummond goes down the ground straight to long off. There's a fielder there. That is Webster. And they'll take 1. Well, to come back to your point about Gloucestershire taking singles, 36 from here would not give Kent, you would think, anywhere near enough.
No.
They'll be looking at 160 if they can get it. Price again in. Pulled by Stewart straight to the man at short fine leg, who is Josh Shaw, but they've scampered through for another single.
Yeah, I think there's always one there. When you're fielding on that College square, it's very difficult, isn't it, for a clean pickup.
Bell Drummond on 45. Price to bowl to him from the College lawn end. Oh, and Bracey might have stumped him there. It's down the leg side. It's given us a wide, but stumping chance missed. Bracey will think that was a stumping chance missed.
Yeah, clever from Ollie Price. Saw him coming. Fired it in down the leg side.
So what can Bell Drummond do to profit from that opportunity? He's got that aerial. That's going to go for 6 into the members. Square over, well over David Payne's head. No chance of him getting it. And a half century for Daniel Bell Drummond. Brought up 49 balls.
Yeah, well batted, Daniel Bell Drummond. He's been the rock.
And Kent's 100 is also up. Price again to Bell Drummond. Just gets a single, content to nudge that out to Hammond, who's very deep on the leg side. Nobody in front of him at all, but with Hammond coming onto the ball, there's no chance any more than 1 run.
That's the first 6, isn't it?
It is the first 6, I'm sure. Stewart waits for Price in his 3rd over. Again, forces that off the back foot past Jack Taylor. Webster's got to come round to cover, which he does. They'll try and take 2, and they will. It's a good return, but that's one of the pockets in the ground where you can sometimes run a 2, and Ollie Price's 3rd over, his most expensive, he's now taken 2 for 26 off 3, and Kent have got 5 overs to go, and Bell Drummond has got to his half century. Stewart has had a sighter or 2, and they've got to press the accelerator over these last 5 overs. And I'd say the fact that Gloucestershire have got flexibility within the bowlers may be to Jack Taylor's advantage. 108 for 6, 5 overs to go.
Yeah, I thought it was a particularly poor bit of fielding from the lady in the crowd down below us, who, as Taylor comes in, that's cut. That's going to be, well, stopped out there by Charlesworth, so it's going to be 2 runs. I thought it was a particularly poor bit of fielding by the lady down below us in the crowd.
Didn't catch that
Didn't catch. I mean, if that happened off your bowling, Ian, I mean, you'd have words, wouldn't you? Didn't go for the catch. Just
she was set at the oval and caught it. It'd be £1,000.
Well, exactly. Yeah. Taylor around the wicket. Bill Drummond launches that one. That's going to be 6 more straight into the marquee.
That's the Premier Club marquee and the Players marquee.
Oh, he's hit the posh seats, has he?
Yeah.
It's at Cow Corner, but, you know, Kent needs a motor now.
So 8 off the first 2 balls of this over. Matt Taylor's got to just think about how he drags this one round. 60 to Bell Drummond. What are we saying? And he gets to this point and he's still in.
Yeah.
Chance to really go for it. He's got 200s in this format, so he knows how to bat through.
Yeah, David Payne's just come
big.
David Payne's just come up from the boundary into a normal square leg, so I think he's going to be trying to push this wide of off stump here, Taylor. There, and it just goes for 1. 1s are fine. You don't mind 1s, but pitched up and out there, it's very hard to hit it anywhere else.
Well, there was a game here between Gloucestershire and Kent that was a longer format than this, but ended up being a 20-over game because of the rain, and Carl Hooper really enjoyed himself.
Cool Carl Hooper, what a player. Taylor in, that's driven down the ground by Stewart. Little fumble out there from
I
Hammond.
think long before T20 actually existed, that was a day when Andy Babington bowled 3 overs for 53.
Ouch. Ouch. Yeah, they've had some good overseas at Kent, haven't they, over the years? Assie Fickbell. Taylor in, that's wide. That's where he's got to go to Bell Drummond. Pitched up and wide of off stump. He's got the field set for it. He's got a deep cover and he's got a backward point. And
it's a fine margin though, isn't it?
It is a fine margin, and there's no third either.
Well, he's got,
but I'm wondering if
Josh Shaw at short third.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Bell Drummond's going to go offside and try and get funky here. No, he's just drilled that out to extra cover to Jack Taylor. That completes the over. So 11 off him, 119 for 6 at the end of the 16th.
Yeah, only 3 off the last 4 balls. So Matt Taylor did well there to drag that back. And interesting that Jack Taylor is now going to switch to. So he's got Bo Webster could bowl. Well, this is Webster's last over. He's got to find someone to bowl at the other end, because I'm assuming that Payne will bowl the 19th, also from that College lawn end. But Webster's bowled 3 overs for 14, and this is an important over to try and jam the brakes back on this attempted Kent revival. Bell Drummond on strike. Webster to bowl to him.
Oh,
that's gone down the ground. He's smoked that all the way for 4. That's gone like a tracer bullet.
That's a proper shot. It's an authentic cricket shot, but he's just nailed that.
Away to long on. Nothing anybody could do to stop it. Cameron Bancroft was never going to reach it from where he was, which is quite wide. Webster again. That's chopped. And that'll be 4 more. So Bell Drummond on strike and on song at the moment. 2 boundaries in this over. A lovely straight drive and a chop away past Ajit Singh Dale. Once it's beaten him at backward point, it's gone for 4.
Yeah, it's a good innings this from Daniel Bell Drummond. He's scoring in a 360-degree arc as well now.
Up to 70. Webster to bowl to him again. That's a bit shorter. And he's going to chase his own delivery here. They'll just pick up 1. And Hammond will keep them down to that. Now the question is, can Webster keep Stewart quiet at this end on the strike for the rest of the over, having gone 4-4-1?
Just a little bit of cloud cover coming over.
This is why Gloucestershire wanted to bat second if there was some weather around. Webster to Stewart. Into Jack Taylor's hands, but a bit of a juggling take at extra cover, so they'll get through for a single. And 129 for 6. 3 overs after this. I still think Kent would take 160.
Yeah, I think they might get a few more now.
Bell Drummond waits for Webster, uses his feet. He's got inside the line of that, and 2 bounces, 4 more. Away down towards the main scoreboard. Again, nothing Charlesworth could do because it was well placed.
Yeah, this is a quality innings from an experienced player here. He's held this Kent innings together. Wickets have tumbled all around him, and he's been conservative at first, and then he's known when to put his foot on the accelerator.
75 off 49. Webster to Bell Drummond. Oh, that's a full ball, and that's the end of Webster's spell. His 4 overs have cost 28, which in a sense doesn't tell you how he's bowled. He's bowled a bit better than those numbers would suggest, but it's still a good stint on a small ground. And 3 overs to go. Jack Taylor's going to turn to David Payne for the 18th rather than either of the last 2.
I wonder if he's going to go Ajit for the last one. Well, David Payne, you want a wicket, he's your man. Got 3 of them so far. So he's taken 4 for against Essex in this tournament, opening game of the Blast. That's slower ball, Payne rolling his fingers over that. Just foxing Stewart.
Just after 25 to 4 on a Friday afternoon. In fact, Cheltenham Festival absolutely packed.
That's gone up in the air. That's going to be 6. Oh, again, a poor bit of fielding by the man in the crowd.
It was on the 3rd afternoon of the championship game that a spectator got hit in the yellow marquee on the Sanford Road side of the ground and needed to be taken over the road to the hospital.
Oh.
And there's that thing about, always watch the ball.
I remember Jack Taylor hit somebody at Bristol, didn't he, a couple of years ago? That wasn't pleasant. Payne, what's he got here? That's gone up in the air. That's going to be straight down Ollie Price's throat. He doesn't drop them. Payne grabs his 4th wicket and Stewart goes for 21. But that is a really good innings from Grant Stewart. Added impetus just when Kent needed it. But David Payne puts the brake on.
Yeah, invaluable support from Stewart for his much more experienced and generally capable batsman at the other end. Tom Rogers, though, coming out to bat at number 9. Now, we were told that his squad number was number 8. But there's no 8 on the back of his shirt.
Well, they probably haven't been down the printers, have they?
No.
Probably been a bit busy, haven't they?
So he's literally just signed for the rest of the Blast. No Wes Agar, no Xavier Bartlett. So there's a space for an overseas. And Kent have brought this bowling all-rounder in. He bats left-handed. And there are, in theory, 15 balls left of this innings, and Kent have got 139 for 7. And Bell Drummond has got more than half the runs.
Yeah, well, if he's anything like another left-handed Australian Rogers, Chris Rogers, he's going to be a good player. Here's David Payne in, and that's just chopped away. And Matt Taylor tidies it up.
Just needs to play sensible cricket, Rogers here,
Yeah.
doesn't he?
Yeah. But I tell you what, this is not a big boundary on this side. I reckon this is 50 yards maybe.
It's around about that. I
Yeah.
think.
Not a big boundary.
So 2 balls to go in Payne's spell, provided he doesn't bowl a no ball or a wide.
Here he comes. Bill Drummond slices that one through point. Picks up the single. 141 for 7. 142 I think it is. No, 141 for 7.
So the question is, do Gloucestershire want Rogers to have a single here? Because if he does have a single, he's got a short leg side boundary for the left-hander to attack in the penultimate over.
Well, I think it's going to be bingo time, isn't it? Whatever. Payne in, and that's a pleasant shot. Cover drive.
There is the one.
There's the one. David Payne, 4 overs, 4 for 25. Absolutely outstanding. He's a hero in this part of the world, and he's just keeps doing the business year in, year out. Not a season's best though. He got 4 for 24 against Essex in the first game. Well, first game in Bristol, wasn't it? I think. Yeah.
It was the first game, actually.
It was the first game. Yeah.
142 for 7, 2 overs to go. 9 off that over, but there was a wicket as well. So, I wonder if Matt Taylor might bowl the last over.
Josh Shaw.
Yeah, Shaw to bowl the penultimate one. Kent would take 2 10s from here, I think. Anything more than that, they'd be very happy. So Rogers waits to face Shaw, and he goes down the ground. That's going to be 6, I think. It is into the ground staff marquee at the college lawn end of the ground. There was a fielder back there, Miles Hammond, but he wasn't going to get it because it was cleanly struck by Rogers. And Kent opened the over with a straight 6. 2 men back for Shaw. And then a dab from Rogers, a late shot down towards deep point, and they'll come back. And they won't come back for a second one because Charlesworth's throw is quickly in. That's clever cricket. So a big hit, and then give the established man the strike.
Yeah, get off strike. Good cricket. Clever cricket.
There's a repeat of that shot from Rogers, just wound himself up and authentically straight down the ground. Short to Bell Drummond. Oh, that's full, that's gone very high. Now, is that going to be Hammond's? He's underneath it, and he's taken the catch of a full toss. Bell Drummond has perished. It's not called as a no ball.
It was close.
But Bell Drummond goes in the penultimate over, but not much more he could have done, having got 76 for his team. His personal total dominates the board. 76 off 52, and he batted into the 19th over, which, given that Kent were 3 down in the power play, was about as much as he could have done.
Yeah, I think that's the umpires got that right, but it was close to being a no ball. Let's have a look. Close. Bill Drummond probably be disappointed that he hasn't actually put that over Cleve Hill in the distance.
Yes, it's gone up more than away. So Gilchrist in at number 10, and now can Gloucestershire wrap up these last 2 wickets quickly and stem any late leakage of runs? Gilchrist tries to clip that past Shaw. Good diving stop of his own bowling. So having gone for 6 off the first ball, he's gone single wicket dot.
Yeah, Gilchrist once of the Somerset parish, wasn't he?
Yes, indeed.
Sure, that might motivate the Gloucester boys.
He hasn't had a lot of opportunity in T20. to be fair. It's only his fourth match. Waits for Shaw. He's bunted that into the ground. He wasn't sure where it had gone, and the answer was it had bounced behind him and over the stumps, and Bracey comes up to prevent any addition to the total.
I think the thing with Kent is, they haven't got much money. I mean, nor of Gloucestershire, but when they get an injury list like they've got, they have to just go with what they've got. I mean, people like George Garrett or Jazz Singh or
Shaw in again. Now that's driven pleasantly by Gilchrist to only get one up to long on. Bancroft is the fielder. And Shaw's got out with a reasonable over there in the end. He's only conceded 8 off it. The first ball went for 6. He's done well. And Kent are 150 for 8. I mean, just to emphasise who isn't available, Zach Crawley is away with the England squad preparing for the Test match this week. There's no Joe Denley. Michael Cohen hasn't played all season. Swanepoel, Klaassen and Quinn are all injured. It really is thinning out the resources.
Yeah, it is. When I covered them early in the season, they had the most inexperienced seam attack going, and I think they'd had 40 first-class appearances, and Joey Everson had 27 of those. Right, Matt Taylor's going to take the last over from the Chapel End. Here he comes in around the wicket. That's gone up in the air. Who's under that one? Cameron Bancroft. Yes, catches it, and Gilchrist perishes.
It's a brave attempt again. He's gone to it's not a long boundary, but he's gone to the longest boundary on the ground, and he's picked out the 2 safest fielders who are patrolling that area, who are Bancroft and Ollie Price.
Yeah, Miles Hammond will probably be up there as well. I mean, he's taken 3 catches today, Miles Hammond. No, he hasn't. He's taken 2. You threw me. You said it was him, and it was Charles. I thought it was Hammond though as well. So Kent now 150 for 9.
It's the man known as Parky. That's what they call him, isn't it?
I think it is. Yeah. Not in Kent though. Not in Kent.
Not in Kent.
No, not in Kent.
In the dressing room, perhaps.
Here's Taylor. Parkinson. Ajit Singh Dale has a shot. He's got to be gone. Yes, he is. Yeah. Brilliant from Ajit Singh Dale there. Runs out Parkinson, who tried taking on a single that was just never there. And he goes after facing 1 ball. And Kent are 150 all out. And I know you have to get on with it in the last over, but you've got to be sensible as well, haven't you?
So, good direct hit from Ajit Singh Dale. We haven't seen a lot of those from Gloucestershire in the field this season. 1 or 2 other sides have really been absolutely sharp in the field, but Gloucestershire have not had a lot of direct hits. That was a good one from Ajit, and that finishes the Kent innings short of their full 20 over allocation. So Bell Drummond has made 76 out of 150. It tells you how important his innings was. I'll give you the details of the full card as the ground staff come out just to remark the strip for the resumption of play in about 15 minutes time. So the Kent card, after they were put in, Bell Drummond caught Hammond bowled Shaw 76, Kushi, LBW Payne no score, Mayeye caught by by Jack Taylor I should say, off Payne for 1. Sam Billings caught by Shaw off Payne for 1. Kent were 13 for 3 at the end of the 3rd over, and then Everson and Bell Drummond set about a recovery. Everson caught Hammond bowled Webster 22, Leaning hit wicket bowled Price no score. O'Riordan caught Charlesworth bowled Price 10, Stewart caught Price bowled Payne 21, Gilchrist caught Bancroft bowled Taylor 1, Parkinson run out 0, Rogers left not out 9. There were 9 extras and 150 all out in 19.2 overs. The bowling figures: Payne 4 overs 4 for 25, Josh Shaw 3 overs 1 for 28, Matt Taylor 3 overs and 2 balls, 1 for 20. Ajit Singh Dale 2 overs for 20. Webster 4 overs, 1 for 28, bowled better than those numbers would suggest. And Ollie Price 3 overs, 2 for 26. Kent aren't out of the game at 150 all out, but they'll have to bowl really well. And you'd say from this position, Gloucestershire are favourites.
And it would be a damn sight worse if it wasn't for a brilliant innings from Daniel Bell-Drummond. David Payne ripped out the top order, didn't he, as he's done so often this season. But Daniel Bell-Drummond was equal to it and knew when to defend and when then to open his arms. And once he went, the rest of the innings capitulated somewhat.
There are the short form details on your screen. Gloucestershire are going to be chasing, and we'll be back for the resumption of play in about 15 minutes time here at Cheltenham. That's a little less than that. Time to put the kettle on. Be back with us soon. Teams are on their way here at Cheltenham, back out for the second innings, the innings which will see Gloucestershire chase 151. That's their target. Match referee Dean Cosker's just gone past us with a cup of tea on the balcony, and it would be Miles Hammond and Cameron Bancroft to start things off. There is some grey cloud around now, but Gloucestershire and indeed this big crowd will hope that the rain doesn't interfere with things.
What's important is that Gloucestershire keep an eye on that, get ahead of the DLS and don't lose wickets early.
It's going to be Tom Rogers to open up from the chapel end, so most of the spectators have perhaps gone for a leg stretch during the break.
You're being very kind to them, Ian. I know they've gone to the bar.
Some of them have. 151 then. That's 7.55 as you
Here's
can see.
Rogers. Here's Rogers into Miles Hammond. Coming in from the chapel end. Oh, that was quite sharp. Just goes through to Billings on the bounce.
I saw a little bit of footage when this signing was confirmed. Just look at a little bit of footage of him, and sharp is about right, I think.
Yeah, he looks quick.
Comes from Tasmania. That's his state back in the Sheffield Shield.
Yeah, Bill Drummond at mid-on. Here he comes, and Hammond just defends that out to Grant Stewart, mid-off. Throws the ball into Billings. So 2 men outside of the circle. Moyeye is down a deep backward square.
Just looking at that replay, that last delivery, it bounced quite a long way in front of Billings, and it then bounced up. It was a very awkward one to take. He did well to...
Yeah, he made it look easy.
Yeah, field it cleanly.
Yep. And the other fielder outside is at third. Here is Rogers, and that's got to be close. Big appeal. Hammond trying to whip that one leg side.
Alex Wolf not interested.
Not interested. No.
One of the now most experienced umpires on the circuit, Alex Wolf.
He played for England a little bit, didn't he? I think, was it just one day? Or did he have a couple of tests? Glamorgan, Nottinghamshire.
Yeah, chiefly Glamorgan is the. If you said Alex Wolf, I would
Yorkshire?
say Glamorgan.
I think he started
Chiefly.
at Yorkshire. Yeah.
Yeah, Gilchrist is the player out at third man.
That's a nice shot there from Hammond, but drills it straight to Grant Stewart at mid-off. Kent look up for this.
Well, I think
There's a lot of energy in the field.
as Rob Scanlon said, he's the grand announcer here today. If Kent are to do anything in this tournament, they've got to put a run together from where they are.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. But this is tidy start, this, from Rogers. Just what Sam Billings wanted. Billings, experienced man, been around the 100, been in the IPL. Knows this short form of the game really well. That's a good delivery as well. He's slippery, this guy.
We could be starting with a maiden here. He's got 5 dots out of this over already.
Kent have got a slip into him. So cushy in a slip. Lots of noise though, lots of energy here from the Kent fielders. They've got 150 runs on the board. They've got something to defend here. And that's cut away by Hammond and goes all the way for 6. Short, wide, and Hammond nails it and puts it away with aplomb.
So we could have had 3 quiet 2s in that over, and nobody would have batted an eyelid. And then we had 5 dots, and Hammond has crashed that.
Well, it's Hammond's though, he's box office, and he knows how to get the crowd going. He's theatre.
That's unless Cushy's got a different number, I think that might be Jack leaning at slip.
He is leaning, sorry, yep.
But Grant Stewart's going to bowl from the College lawn end. Right arm over the wicket. And got an LBW appeal to Bancroft, but the opponent dribbles out on the leg side and they'll come through for a leg bye. There was no bat involved in that. Yeah, Stewart, interesting character, born in Italy, but didn't learn his cricket there. But has done quite good things for Kent over quite a long period of time. He's got a O'Riordan out at deep point on the boundary, and he's looking for where the other man out is. And the answer is there isn't one at the moment. So that's almost cut Hammond in half there.
Doing a bit. Some good overheads for the Kent bowlers to work with here as well. The blue skies just filled in with grey. Bit like the colour of our hair, Ian.
Well, it's certainly yours. Mine's long fallen out. In the second over, Stewart to Hammond, who's playing that down the ground. That's gone for 4. That's a lovely shot. It's an orthodox shot. It goes for 4 now over the rope, straight down the ground, gun barrel straight drive, all the way along the floor. And in a sense, that is Hammond all over. He's prepared to go high risk rather than just push and prod around.
That was a proper cricket shot there. Held the pose, didn't even bother running.
Stewart again to him, and Hammond defends out on the offside. Because in the reverse, he got 80 in the reverse fixture. Hammond down at Canterbury.
Yeah, they're probably sick of the sight of him.
And I think also, if I go back a bit, his first ever T20 50 was at Canterbury. So it's an opposition that he's had joy against before. 11 for no wicket in the second over. Stewart to bowl to him, and again it's forced, but only back up the pitch, and Stewart fields off his own bowling. So for Stewart, one or two umbrellas might be going up, and there is some movement among some of the spectators. Stewart in, Hammond cuts, that will be at least 1. There is a fielder out on the boundary, and I think that looks like Mayeye out there. They've taken a single, so 2 overs gone, and Gloucestershire 12 without loss, chasing 1-5-1 to win.
5 overs constitutes a game, doesn't it?
It does. It's not heavy rain. It's 1 or 2 big spots, but there's no indication that the umpires, as of the moment, wish to bring the players off the field.
We're next to the BBC guys here, Ed Seaborn and Ben Watts from BBC Radio Kent, and they didn't have the brain to put up the umbrella before the game, and now they're scratching. That's well bowled again by Rogers. He looks a really good signing, this guy.
Lastminute.com signing.
Yeah.
Other websites are available.
Are you on advertising money there? No. No? You sure?
Yeah. And just here, 1 or 2 drops on our umbrella at the moment.
Here is Rogers, and that's glorious there. Miles Hammond, stand and deliver. All along the carpet, wasn't it?
Forceful shot from Hammond.
Quite heavy spots now, this rain. I wonder if we might get through this over. It's starting to come down now.
Certainly movement further movement in the crowd.
Doesn't want to get out here. Just tickles one off his hip round the corner. Moye's at deep backward square, and they come through for one. Cheltenham's one of those grounds where we don't have the luxury of a media centre. We're huddled under a brolly.
Quite a big brolly.
Yeah, it is a big brolly, but I'm using Ian Randall for a bit of warmth. That's just turned off his legs there by Bancroft in
first run for Bancroft.
Yeah, he's only faced 2 balls. Hammond's been hogging the strike, and why not? But I think Alex Wharf might be just maybe, this rain has just come over too early for Gloucestershire, I think. Rogers in, and again Hammond tickles that one around the corner.
Depends if he thinks it's going to pass quickly.
Yeah, 1 ball left of this over.
I
think they'll come off at the end.
They might have a chat at the end of this over.
I think so. I think Billings might want to come off as well. I think it's probably... We saw it in the last game against Somerset, and I spoke to Steve Kirby there, and he thought the rain helped Gloucestershire. He thought the ball came on off the wicket, didn't stick in the wicket so much. Here's Rogers. Bancroft plays that one all along the carpet for 4 runs. Gloucestershire 23 without loss at the end of the 3rd. And the umpires are just having a little bit of a conflab. And I reckon Billings might just be giving a little bit of advice.
Yeah, we're coming off.
Yeah, we're coming off. I think so. I think it's not fair on Kent. I think, it's not fair on the fielding side. They get the ball where they start sliding around. And I think once one side has a distinct advantage over the other, I think the umpires, it's within their duty to take the sides off. You can probably play through this, but it's persistent, and, I don't think it's fair on the visitors.
So the college ground staff, led by Christian Brain, sprinting on with the 3 pitch covers that will cover the strip, and they'll hope that this doesn't fill in for the afternoon, and it just scuttles past us. But at the moment, Gloucestershire 23 without loss after 3 overs. They are ahead of DLS, so they need 2 more overs play in order to constitute a game here at Cheltenham. The other ground staff have sprinted away to the far end. They'll be wanting to put covers on the run-ups, I suspect. That's where they're going.
And the other thing here at Cheltenham is you need to protect the college square. There's 2 squares here. You've got the county square, and then you've got the college square where the students play, which is down towards the chapel end of the ground, and that needs covering. That can get soaked, and that needs covering quite quickly.
So they'll be quite sharp about that, but the run-up covers are coming on. They've got covers on all parts of the ground here. It's not as if they're just at the one end. They're literally all round the playing area, and the ground staff are quickly trying to get them on as soon as they can. So 150 all out, Kent, having been put into bat. Innings dominated by Daniel Bell Drummond, who wasn't out until the 19th over and scored more than half of his team's runs. And Gloucestershire 23 without loss after 3 overs. The rain started in the 2nd. It was quite light at that point, but it got a little bit heavier during the 3rd, and Alex Wolf and Ben Peveril have taken the players off. So we're going to leave you with the scene of the ground staff doing their work here at Cheltenham, and we'll be back with you as soon as we have any news of a resumption. 23 without loss after 3 overs. We still need another 12 balls of cricket to constitute a result here at Cheltenham. More news from here as soon as we have it. Well, welcome back to Cheltenham. We've had rain. It did stop about 25 minutes ago, so it's a little surprising that we're having to wait this long for a resumption, but we are about to resume. Now the maths after that rain delay is this: we've only lost 1 over, so the target is now 145 in 19 overs, but the power play has also been adjusted to 5 overs and 4 balls.
Madness, Ian. Absolute madness.
Anyway, we're about to start the 3rd over.
4th over.
The 4th over, as you were.
Yeah. It's important that 2 overs are bowled here.
And Grant Stewart is to bowl to Miles Hammond. Works that into the onside. There'll be a single out to Everson.
From a Gloucestershire point of view, we believe there's some rain due in about 15 minutes or so. And they need to make sure that they're on after 5 overs with no collateral damage, no further wickets lost. And they should be ahead of the game.
They should be ahead of DL at that point. Whether we can get that full 19 overs in, I think has to be a matter of doubt, but there might be enough. Stewart to Bancroft. Steers that down towards 3rd man. They'll take 1 and ticks the score up to 24. At the moment, they need to be at 23 at the end of this over with no wickets down, so they are ahead at the moment, but they've got to get another 10 balls in to constitute a match. Yeah,
they just need to just keep ticking it over.
And to hope that the rain stays away for another 10 minutes minimum. Stewart to Hammond, and he's whipped that away to O'Riordan at deep square on the bounce, and he'll take 1. It's such a disappointment having had such a... I mean, the forecast is right in a way. The forecast was it was going to be a good start to the afternoon, and then the question is whether we could get the whole game in before this band of rain comes in tonight. We've had the 1 stoppage already. Can we get enough of a game in to constitute a result? Stewart to Bancroft, who plays it into the ground, and again straight to the fielder at backward point, who again is O'Riordan. 26 for no wicket. We're in the 4th over. It is not currently raining, but it's not very bright out there. Bancroft steers that again into the offside. Diving stop from Everson. Keeps them to a single.
That's according to our resident meteorologist, Zaman Akhtar, who's up on the balcony with us.
He's all right. He's got a baseball cap on.
Yeah.
That's his protection from the weather.
Yeah.
There's some very dark clouds around.
I think the light must be...
Stewart to Hammond, forces that into the offside again. No real power, and he just played it sensibly into the gap. Only got 2 out at the moment, but that's 4 overs completed. 5 off the over, 28 for no wicket at the end of 4 overs. So the important thing is, can they get through the next over unscathed with these 2 still together? They only need 2 off this over to do that.
Yeah.
No wickets down.
Yeah. Bit of the Human League then. Did you have a hairstyle like Phil Oakey back in the day?
We're going to have Nathan Gilchrist from the College Chapel End. Hammond's got to keep his concentration here.
Yeah, he has.
It's a different scenario to what he would normally face.
Gloucestershire just need to get through this over as quickly as possible. No gardening, no chats.
And no wickets.
No wickets and
2 singles. They need
3 more runs.
Yeah, they need 2 singles. If it was 30 for naught, would it be declared a tie?
Yeah, it would. It would.
Another one.
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
Couldn't make that up.
But I think you've just got to bat as if you are going to bat for 19.
Yes. So 2 balls left of the power play. No, sorry. 1.2 ball. 1.2 overs left of the power. This is the 5th over, not the 6th.
But they've all got weather apps now, haven't they? They've all got, you know, everything going. So
I think there will be a cheer if we get to the end of this over.
I think so.
And it's still Bancroft and Hammond out in the middle.
Gilchrist in, past umpire Alex Wharf, cut away and gone. Bancroft is caught at short third and goes, and has that changed?
Parkinson, I think, the catcher.
Has that changed the context of this game? Oh,
It's a good catch.
it was a good catch.
But
And the rain starts to fall.
not ideal. So James Bracey walking out to bat at number 3.
He'll get a big cheer here.
Some of the crowd have gone for the cover of the marquees.
The DLS has now gone up to 33.
So not massive damage.
Not massive damage, but the rain is now starting to fall.
Three balls they need to get. 3 balls and 4 runs.
And not get out. That would be a disaster. Dot ball played into point. Oh. Ian, Gloucestershire going to nose this up.
Well, they've got to think they're going to be out there for
Yeah.
another 3 or 4 overs maybe.
Yeah, I agree. Here comes the rain. Gilchrist in. Bracey tries to force that one through the offside. 1 ball to go until this constitutes a match. The rain is starting to fall and James Bracey needs 4 for a tie. Is it going to be another tie?
They're quite heavy droplets, aren't they?
They are heavy.
Alex Wolf was just looking round once again.
In, and Bracey tries to whack that and he's gone. He's caught behind. And Gloucestershire's dreams are in tatters here. Bracey goes. Caught behind by Sam Billings. And Gloucestershire have got themselves into an absolute tangle here.
The rain's coming. We've had 5 overs and they're going to be behind on DL. 29 for 2. Duckworth Lewis is 42. Are they coming off?
Yeah, Miles Hammond is trying to remonstrate with Alex Wharf, but I think you've got to come off, haven't you? I think you have to come off in this. Don't you think?
They were.
Matt Parkinson's got a bit of jip off one of the crowd and used a phrase along the lines of "it's raining."
Well, what an over from Gilchrist.
Yeah, turn the game.
2 for 1 in an over that has potentially. I use that word advisedly because the rain may again stop, but they're bringing the covers back on. But all the advantage seemed to be with Gloucestershire at the end of the first innings, and now at 29 for 2 have been in the box seat at the end of 4 overs. Suddenly at the end of the 5th over, it's Kent who are technically ahead, and unless we get out there again, Kent are going to win on DLS.
Yeah, the score when there were no wickets down, the DLS score was 30 at the end of the 5th over. And then with the fall of Cameron Bancroft, it then became 33. James Bracey was looking for a 4 off the last ball there to try and force yet another tie in the Gloucestershire season, and has nicked off behind. And now Kent, if it continues to rain, Kent are going to go back to the Garden of England with the spoils in.
And yet it was Gloucestershire at the
in the
earlier
box seat.
rain break,
Yeah.
in the box seat and wanting to play.
Yeah.
Kent arguably would have taken the 1 point, but now the covers are coming back on, and from a position where they appear to have done all they could in the field, half an hour's cricket may have scuppered a Gloucestershire result here. So the covers are coming back on. This was I think the band of rain that was of greater concern, on the basis that this may be more significant. But as we stand at the moment, we have got a result under DLS. Gloucestershire were left to chase 145 in 19 overs when they came back. They've only had 2 of those, but in those 2 overs they have critically lost 2 wickets, and as a result they are behind on DLS with 5 overs bowled, and that means that's enough to decide the game.
And I'm reliably informed by Adrian Thomas, Gloucestershire fan, that Gloucestershire have played Kent 24 times in T20 cricket and never lost a ball to rain.
That's a stat to know.
That is a stat to know.
Well, as things stand at the minute, the ground staff are putting the covers back on, and we are eating into the potential overs available. Any more news from here we will bring you as soon as we have it, but at the moment the players are off the field, there is rain falling, and the ground staff are putting the covers back on, and as things stand, Kent are going to take the points here on a DLS off the basis of a wicket taken in the last ball that was played. More from here at Cheltenham as soon as we have it. For now though, from the college, we'll leave you with pictures of what's going on out in the middle. We're here on the Gloucestershire cricket stream. There is the card of the Gloucestershire reply to the Kent total of 150 all out here at Cheltenham. The cut-off time is 17 minutes past 6, at which point the last over must be bowled. And the umpires have decided that they cannot get the ground ready with the ground staff in that time, and therefore the game has been declared over, and Kent have won on DLS. Those are the bowling figures, and the one at the bottom is the important one. Nathan Gilchrist, 1 over, 2 wickets for 1 run. When Gloucestershire started the 5th over, remember you need to play 5 overs to constitute a result. They were 28 for no wicket. They only needed 2 singles if the openers stayed together to win the game on DLS. But Gilchrist removed both Bancroft and then Bracey with the last ball of the 5th over to leave Gloucestershire 29 for 2, and therefore Kent take the points on DLS. Amazing that we've had 2 games here at Cheltenham this week on such fine margins. The championship game here against Glamorgan, which went, as you I'm sure know, to the last ball with three of the 4 results still possible. Technically 4 results still possible, having a dot ball on the last ball. But Kent have won the game here on DLS, having scored 150 all out. Daniel Bell-Drummond contributing more than half the runs to the total, and Gloucestershire with David Payne the pick of the bowlers with another 4 wicket haul. But basically this afternoon has been decided on 1 over. At 28 for no wicket, Gloucestershire needed 2 singles with, at that stage, very light rain falling, but they've lost 2 wickets and they've lost the point that they had when they went off for the first rain break.
Yeah, and if they do not qualify for the quarterfinals, there will be this game that they look back upon. It really will be frustrating for Gloucestershire, but that's life, isn't it? That's the way it rolls with DLS when that comes into it.
Yeah, that Kent total, 76 from Bell-Drummond. Nobody else really with very big contributions. Everson 22, Stewart 21. But the bowling figures: Payne 4 for 25, Shaw 1 for 28, Matt Taylor 1 for 20, Webster 1 for 28, Ollie Price 2 for 26. And you know, Gloucestershire would have been warm favourites at that point, but in the final analysis it will say Kent Spitfires win by 8 runs on DLS. Miles Hammond left, you might say stranded, 21 not out. Bancroft caught Parkinson, bowled Gilchrist 7. Bracey caught Billings, bowled Gilchrist 0. And Nathan Gilchrist 2 for 1 in 1 over has won the game for Kent here at Cheltenham by a very narrow margin, and they've pulled a win out of nowhere, really, Kent. And Gloucestershire have to now look at other results tonight, hope that they go for them. There's some rain around in the southeast, so hopefully there may be some games there where sides only take 1 point, but they'll have to come back to play Middlesex on Thursday the 11th and hope that the weather is good for that game and they can pick up another win. In between now and then, they've got to go to Taunton on
piece of cake
on Sunday.
Piece of cake.
And commentary on that on the stream. Ed Seaborn will lead the team there, and Dan and I will be back with you on Thursday tea time at 5 o'clock. Thursday the 11th at 5 o'clock. Meanwhile, we'll leave you with the scenes here of the ground staff putting the covers back on and the wicket cover, as you can see, in place with the rain falling at Cheltenham. Crowd, well, some making their way home, some staying for a beer perhaps, but all in all, frustrating given how the first half of the afternoon went. Dan and I will talk to you again on the 11th, but more Gloucestershire cricket, of course, in between with that derby at Taunton on Sunday afternoon. We'll talk to you again soon.